With Dying Light 2 already birthed into the world, I thought it would be a great idea to revisit an old flame, the amazing Dying Light, a game that now forever haunts my dreams because of this challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, can I beat Dying Light with only 1 HP and no upgrades? Well, let's find out. Hola, me llamo Crane. I'm on a mission given to me by the GRE to find and locate file number 8291, as well as the man who took it, Kadir Solomon. I performed a halo jump into the planet of Haran and ended up paralyzing myself from the neck down. 3 gentlemen approached me and very kindly told me that they were going to beat my ass. I pulled out my cock as well as my Glock, but still received a crippling blow to the head. To make matters even worse, I got bit by a zombie, but to be honest, I felt more bad for him than I did myself. My very masculine savior died very violently. I saw a gorgeous girl, and then I passed out. Welcome to the world of Dying Light. I woke up in some building and saw this kid playing soccer. I tried to take the ball away from him, but instead, he ended up taking my ankles. It's in here where I met some teenager named Brahim, who basically said that I'd be more useful dead rather than alive. I really wanted to join his Fortnite squad since I had nowhere else to go, but he said no. He said that the only way I could join was if I proved that I had what it takes. In order to do that, he sent me to the dreaded 13th floor to help find some bum who was stuck down there. I just really hope that the baby put up a good fight. This man forgot the keys to his apartment, and I forgot that I didn't give a f, so I killed him. I found the bum who said he cut his arm, and also that the man outside whose head I just blasted off was actually his brother. In order to avoid any legal charges, I pleaded self-defense and told the bum that his brother attacked me first. I helped this man cure his injuries and then headed to the roof for an intense parkour session. After finally completing the course, I was now valid in the squad. I was released into the wild like some sort of animal to find some doctor because earlier a seizure nearly withdrew all of the life out of my body. Here is where the fun actually starts. As you can see up here, I have 1 life. You can spit on me and I'll die. Shake my hand too hard and I'll die. If you were to run past me, I promise you that the small, light gust of wind you just pushed my way would have taken my life. I met the doctor in question and he gave me a shot of antizin, which isn't a cure, but it prolongs the inevitable. It's just heroin. I was then ordered to set up traps around Haran to help out the guys at night retrieve more antizin. But before I did any of that, I had to secure this safe house. I stealthily got behind this woman and completely disintegrated the bone in her legs. For this guy, I hit him so hard, he fell over and his head just kinda popped. If I learned anything from zombie movies, is that you should always double tap, which is exactly what I did to her. This next guy right here, I decided to just take it easy on him.
Okay, it's done. Fuck.
With the safe house now acquired, I just wanted to tell you guys that I did not acquire any more safe houses after this one. Acquiring a safe house in this game is like trying to play catch with your dad, except you don't have a dad. I tried it once, but it didn't work out. Unless I was required to by the game in order to progress the story, I did not touch a safe house at all. It just wasn't worth the trouble in my opinion. Did it hurt having to travel hella far to my next objective after dying? Oh, more than you can imagine, but it hurt more constantly dying trying to capture a single safe house. Convincing a police officer that the drug in the bag was actually just flour and not cocaine would be easier than capturing the safe house in this game. Anyways, while setting up these traps, and of course, you know, murder, I came to a realization. This man got no stamina. It's so bad that just hearing Crane run out of breath makes me want to grab my inhaler and use it on myself. I feel like I'm the one that's running out of breath. Every time this man takes 3 steps, he's over here breathing, gasping for air, as if he's about to blow down a brick house. Not being able to upgrade this man's stamina really does bite me in my nuts and bolts more times than you can think. And you know what's crazy? There was no reason for me to even add on no upgrades to this challenge. Like I'm already in the wheelchair with 1 HP. No upgrades was like taking the wheels off of that wheelchair and asking me to steer it. Like, I ain't going nowhere. This big guy thought that just because he was big, he would be able to take me on. But oh man, was he wrong. Remember, Confucius once said, it's not about the size of the ship that matters, it's about the motion in the ocean. And let me tell you something, the motion these legs were producing was incredible. I was kind of hoping that someone came along, pulled down my pants, and broke both my kneecaps because I was just disrespecting this man with my movements. I genuinely felt bad because I think he knew he had no shot. With the traps all set up, I went to bed because the game thought I couldn't handle the nighttime. And boy oh boy, will I soon find out why. I woke up, jumped over this fence, and made the mistake of actually trying to put up a fight and having some fun. If there's one thing this challenge is good for, is stripping you from any type of entertainment this game has to offer. It turns out that the traps that I worked so hard to set up ended up being useless since the guys in charge of getting the Antonsen drop at night failed miserably.
Jesus. No offense, friend, but you're as green as grass.
Grass do be green, so thank you. This talking yellow shirt was Brecken, the head honcho of everyone in this tower. Since he failed at being a good leader, it was my turn to go ahead and try to get my hands on the next Antonsen drop. In some random house, I discovered that I could actually kick in this game, a feature that I completely forgot about. And wouldn't you know it, there was a nice practice dummy downstairs to test out this mechanic. I know it's hard to watch me repeatedly stamp the bottom of my boot onto this man's body, but this is how many kicks it takes to get rid of a life, the more you know. I also did the same thing to his pal over here, here, and here. I actually enjoyed this so much that for the next couple of hours, I spent the day kicking my enemies. It's actually more powerful than you think. Eventually, after all of that excitement left my system, I ran, and I ran until I couldn't anymore. And do you know why? It's because I fell and died. 1 HP makes the game incredibly unpleasant to play. Imagine eating an ice cream, but the ice cream melted, the cone fell on the floor, and then a bus hit you. That's how bad this game gets. If I try to have a nice fight with a zombie, I'll just get pounded from behind. If I try to freely move around the world and enjoy its parkour system, I'll just die by falling from like 2 feet. I literally can't do or else I die. This zombie had her guts out, so I went for the insta-kill to her stomach, only to stupidly think that I killed a pregnant zombie whose baby was still inside of her, crying. Upon further inspection and a realization that my brain is smoother than the tires on my car, I realized that the crying wasn't coming from her belly, but rather the building that was right next to me. I did the heroic thing and now rescued the crying child, not because I'm cruel, but because I believed they needed to learn how to defend themselves on their own. I saw a plane drop those sweet crates I needed to collect, so I hunted all 3 of them down. Fantastic. This drop had a bunch of Homo sapiens around it, and to be honest, I was not in the mood to even attempt to fight a human AI just yet. So I left. I knew this crate had the Antonsen, but of course I had to die just 3 inches away from it and start all over. I just really love this game. Really good challenge, really good. Once I made it back, I had to clear the area of zombies, which I'm sure sounds pretty easy, but the fact that Crane runs out of breath every 3 swings doesn't exactly make the statement true. I've seen corpses with better functioning lungs than Crane has in this challenge. This crate had those beautiful drugs that Brecken and his crew desperately needed, but the GRE said F them, throw that shit out. So I basically had no choice but to do it since the GRE had me by the balls. I then got sadly introduced to the Volatiles, an enemy that throughout this game made me want to tell my little sister that Santa Claus just wasn't real. Outrunning them, especially with no upgrades and being a one-shot, is impossible. Like it's literally impossible. Either that or I just suck. I don't know. I decided the only way to do this was to take my sweet time and go around them. I avoided running because I was afraid they would detect me, so I literally just walked it the entire time. This was going great, and to be honest, I got very far, until I missed a ledge jump, fell, and died. Now this would have pissed me off quite a lot, but luckily I was close enough to the tower to respawn right inside. These guys really really needed the drugs, and apparently some guy named Rise has a lot of it, so I volunteered to go ahead and try and get some. It was nighttime, but sleep is for the children. Chads like me and my subscribers go out and explore the night. We live that vida loca. Once I made it to Rise, I could immediately tell he wasn't a very nice guy. He also happens to be the man I was sent to look for by the GRE. He was Kadir Solomon. Rise told me that he would give me some antizin only if I did a couple of tasks for him, so it was time to get to work. I bought this knife because I wanted a stronger weapon, and I mean, it's a knife. Like, it leaves holes in people's bodies, like why wouldn't I buy it? But this knife must have been made out of plastic, since it did absolutely nothing to this zombie. I don't know what it is about this game, but there are enemies in here, especially the humans, that get hit in the head by a freaking nuclear blast and act like they never got touched. Not even a reaction. A shotgun blast to the dome point blank would probably still not be enough to take out the enemies in this game. I met the Ugly and disassembled his body using this wrench like it was a Lego. Since this area had many zombies, I thought it would be a great idea to craft something a little more powerful. But that proved to be a huge mistake, since it got me killed due to the shock and burning effect it inflicts on the enemy. I can't even enjoy a nice upgraded weapon in this game without it backfiring. I tried again, only to be instantly blasted by vomit and killed. I tried again, only to be killed by the zombie on the other side of the door I was supposed to open. I was so tempted on upgrading this tree, but I said no, stop it. I have to be strong. All I needed to do here was turn on the power, but I literally kept getting spat on. I basically had enough. I just ran in there, turned the power on, and died immediately after. At least this time, the task was done. My death actually meant something. I climbed this tower only for it to not have what I was looking for. It's a shame that my lack of talent caused me to die multiple times attempting to get down from this tower. Like, I'm not even kidding, look at this. I wish I could say this was someone else playing, or it was like my cat or my dog or something, but nope, this is just me. With the transmitter now in place, it was time to talk to Rise. He gave me a big no-no for the antizin, but said that he would give me 2 full crates this time if I just went around Haran and collected some money from some people. I said, I bet. So I went around threatening all of these fine fellas until they gave me what I wanted. I died again from such a short fall and met a new enemy. Let's just say that these guys really got on my nerves. After collecting all the money, Rice sent me to go check up on his men who were in trouble. Not because he cared about them, but because one of them was carrying a blueprint that he wanted back. So I went to go check up on them, and let me tell you something. This man on top of this gas station with the machine gun made veins pop out of my head that I didn't even know I had. Dying over and over and over again was no fun. I tried so many different ways to take care of this guy, like throwing a ninja star from afar or going through the back, but they all ended in my death. This guy's aim is that of a god. Like, no joke, this part took me an entire day and night cycle of just constant trial and error to finish. Literally the only way I was able to pass this was because I got lucky. I somehow was able to run past his gunfire after attempting it many times. I mean, yeah, like, I got the blueprint, but god damn, words can't explain how difficult that was. I brought the blueprint back to Rise, and he proceeded to take a dump on my forehead. He only gave me 5 vials of antizin for all that work I just did. Giving Jade 5 vials of antizin after promising her a lot more was pretty disappointing. Brecken let a whole floor full of people die, and Raheem told me he wanted to blow up that building that had a volatile hive inside. Crazy idea, I know, but it would make the night a lot easier to navigate since more volatiles would be dead. So yeah, I mean, I guess it made sense. Jade told me that there was a school that Rise used as a storage unit for antizin, so it was time for me and her to try and take some without permission. But man, when I tell you that school was something out of my nightmares, it was something freaking scary, and you will see why in part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're feeling a little extra generous. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.